And he like asks his opinion, and his reaction to that was like, "Leave me out!" He gets up and just sprints out. I was dying laughing. Like I was just like,
Right now is the time for me to leave everything I know behind.
Life is but a twinkling of an eye, yet filled with sorrow and compassion. Though not imagined, all things that happen will age too old, though gold. Though gold.
"Though gold."
Obviously, those are lyrics from Stevie Wonder's ode to this episode's topic, Stay Gold. A song in which I've never really heard. And now I watched the movie and it's the theme. And I was like, oh shit. Like, all right.
That song was written by a Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola's like niece or
Sophia?
Cousin or something. No, she was in it though. She was in it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, this song is fucking terrible. Who wrote it? And I was like, oh, another Coppola. And then I was like, who is singing this piece of shit? I was like, Stevie Wonder. It's the worst song he's ever recorded.
I know. I was like, this isn't a hit.
They rope him into this shit, man. Sorry, I'm breaking into the intro there.
We're here to talk about yet another 80s street gang movie.
I know, right?
Wait, what other ones have we done?
The Warriors.
Oh,
And,
that was the 70s.
This time, it's the 1983 Francis Ford Coppola cinematic adoption of the young adult novel The Outsiders. Penned by S.E. Hinton in 1967 at the age of 16, which always blows my mind. And having now sold over 15 million copies since its publication 50 years ago. Many of which can now be found in every garage sale, used bookstore, and high school English class.
High school, yeah. Middle school. My kids had to read it for middle school.
I forget what year I read it. I was like, it's like middle school or high school.
My son read it this year, yeah.
I will pay you $5 to take this copy of The Outsiders off my hands.
Unless it was banned. So this book is not without controversy, as it was ranked number 38 on the American Library Association's top 100 most frequently challenged books of 1990 through 1999. This book has been banned from some schools and libraries because of the portrayal of gang violence, underage smoking and drinking, strong language, and family dysfunction.
What? I thought they would ban it because they were just like, I don't want another generation to have to read this book.
Good Lord. Yeah, that's the only reason to ban it.
What? I mean, come on.
A bunch of swears. Good Lord. Smoking?
This is like the 50s, or like what is it? Was this set in the 50s or something?
60s, I think.
61.
60s. Okay. All right.
61.
Basically the 50s too, yeah.
Yeah, so on that topic, I'll give you the cliff notes on the basic plot now, and then obviously we can expand upon it later. So The Outsiders...
Thanks. No thanks.
The Outsiders
I've had enough of the plot.
a coming of age story about a 14-year-old boy named Ponyboy Curtis and his working class gang, the Greasers. Set in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the story follows Ponyboy over 2 weeks as he navigates class conflict, friendships, and loyalty. The Greasers from the poor East Side clash with the Socs, the rich kids from the West Side. So that's the cliff notes. Also,
as old as time.
Shout out to the producer and casting director Fred Roos, as nearly everybody in the entire cast went on to have lengthy and like amazing careers, including Patrick Swayze as Derry, Rob Lowe as Soda Pop, C. Thomas Howell, pre-Soul Man, plays the lead as Ponyboy, Ralph Macchio as Johnny Cade, Matt Dillon as Dally, Emilio Estevez as Two-Bit, Tom Cruise, I forget the guy, he's just like a random name named Steve or something.
Clowney
and then
McGee,
it's like Steve something, and a 16-year-old Diane Lane. I don't know if this is her first movie, but and I think funny enough, those are probably the stars. All went on to have great careers. There were some random Socs in there that I thought were really funny. There was Leif Garrett, Tom Waits. He was a greaser actually. He wasn't a Soc.
He was like a guy working at the club.
Yeah, at the door. Cam Neely, the NHL
Boston Bruins star Cam Neely, who's now like the general manager of the Bruins.
And Flea was in this, but I wanted to go see where he was at.
Where was he at?
I don't know.
He was a Soc.
He was a Soc, but I didn't go back and look.
Nick Cage was a Soc. I mean, to the surprise of no one, if you know anything about Coppola, like the nepotism knows no end.
How did I miss those guys?
Nick Cage was in it as a Soc?
Nick Cage was a Soc
I didn't
also,
see that.
uncredited. They didn't get, none of those folks got credits. And Sofia Coppola is in it, but they gave her a name like Domino or something. Like it wasn't, They didn't say Sofia Coppola as the little girl.
I don't even. When's the little girl in it?
Were they all
She
just
comes
in the Rumble
over
or something?
She comes over and asks him for
Oh,
money.
for
and
money?
He's got
Oh,
a gun.
got
He's
it,
like,
got it,
Would
yeah.
you fuck off?
Oh, that was Sofia Coppola?
Just get out of here. Yeah, that was Sofia Coppola.
So that's a bit of a rundown. We can jump into it. It sounds like you guys hated it. I had seen this a million times. Like,
I've never seen it. Yeah.
this is like a movie that got, you read the book in middle school and then they roll out that TV from the video department. And then
Yeah,
you watch it
the
in
AV
class.
department. Yeah,
they rolled
Totally.
the TV and you're like,
VCR in
oh
there.
man. I think the book is better. The movie's just kind of a cartoonish isn't the right word. It's got
Overly fucking melodramatic.
yeah, maybe that's what it's kind of corny, like in a way.
Yes.
And
Cornball.
It's like an after-school special.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's got this flat quality to it,
Mhm.
and the acting has a flat quality to it, and it's got this cheesy like elevator music, like noodling around in the background a bunch, and
Ponyboy is making all the wrong decisions.
I
Let's follow
know,
him for the
totally.
day.
It's just begging for someone to have
Let's
like
see
a
where this
narrator
goes.
behind some of this shit.
You know what? There's a lot going on here, guys. There's class, divisions.
Yeah,
There's the
there's-
perpetuation of violence. Come on, there's themes. There's themes.
So many asshole men to choose from. Like, I mean, God, geez, how do you choose? If you're a lady from Ponyboy Town, I mean, your picks are just endless. I mean, really, it's just a wealth of dating material for the young ladies.
Yeah.
Are you going to get the guy that
You're gonna get
lifts up
harassed
the
by next.
skirts and pants of ladies and goes woo 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 as he walks by him? Or are you going to get the one who like says, "Hey, is your red hair the same color as your eyebrows?" Or you know what I'm really talking about? You know what I'm really like? No, we have no idea what you're really talking about, dumbass.
I love that. And then he pivots. He's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna get you a Coke."
Do you want a Coke or a Sprite? Do you want a Coke or a Sprite? I'm going to talk into your fucking ear.
And then he really comes back with.
He
I know.
really comes back with a Coke and a
I
Sprite.
had completely forgotten
He
about
throws it in
that.
his face.
And they're like, "Come on, jeez. Gosh, just leave her alone." Oh, he's like,
Oh.
"What are you? You want to get another scar in your face for saying bad stuff? I'm going to get a Coke and a Sprite."
We should have done a count of how they're like, "Come on, like,
I know.
come on, Dairy, come on, 2-bit,
Come on, 2-bit. Come on, Sody Pop. Come on. Fucking.
I mean, okay,
None of this.
cornball aside, I don't hate it.
I did hate it.
Really?
I did not want to ever watch this again. Like I had a
I
hard
watched
time
it
making
twice,
it through.
motherfucker.
I mean, it's hard to have. I have so many good actors, and like,
Yeah.
how do you have such weird performances
Well,
from all of them?
they have so many good actors, but none of them know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, they're so young. It's
yeah,
like,
and
I
so
feel like
like
Ralph Macchio brought it of all of them. I feel
Macchio,
like he was actually good.
he was pretty good.
I thought Emilio Estevez was kind of toned down.
I
mean, he
hated
played the
him, though.
he played the dopey character.
I
but,
really
like,
hated him though. Yeah,
but I
I
felt
like-
like he's at least had probably sounded like he acted before.
got his like the hair pushed down in the middle. And he was the one in the beginning who's like staggering drunk everywhere and like woo woo wooing everybody.
Oh, yeah,
picks
yeah,
the
yeah.
girl's dress up.
Yeah, he's got the
He's-
Mickey Mouse
that's
shirt
awesome.
on.
Yeah, and he's like, he's just being a total asshole for the first like third of the movie. So
Everybody, Mickey Mouse is on. Let's go watch Mickey. We're in a gang.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like I get it. They're kids. But I feel like Swayze is actually okay. You know,
Yeah.
he's pretty good. He's older, you know, obviously. Matt Dillon plays a Matt Dillon character. So like as Matt Dillon, he's doing a good Matt Dillon job.
Mhm.
You know, I think Diane Lane does fine as a very, very thin character. Cherry Valance.
Yeah.
And then I can't tell you who else I thought was good. They all cry a lot.
So much crying.
They all cry a lot and they're not good at it. They do a lot of like, you know, putting your head in your hands going,
It's
and then
as
they-
if a teenager
I know.
wrote a book
I know.
having no experience whatsoever
Oh, damn.
with her own gender or the opposite gender
Yeah.
and didn't know how to like write any of it. Like that's almost what it's like.
It just, the emotional stuff never really hits, you know, like when bad things happen, you're like, did that happen? You know, I mean, like you just see the artifice behind everything, and it doesn't really hit you as much. So
I just don't understand how the director of The Godfather and Apocalypse
I
Now
know.
fucking came out with this. Like, it
This
just
was the
doesn't
movie that's
make
supposed to be before all that stuff, when
any
he was
sense.
just learning how to make movies, not like way after it when he's mega famous and revered as like one of
So-
the best directors ever.
How it got made was a teacher wrote him
Mhm.
Yeah,
with
I
a bunch
saw
of
that.
students
Yeah,
petitioned him and asked, asked him to make this movie.
but I bet a lot of people wrote him and asked him to do a lot of things that he didn't fucking do.
I mean, yeah,
You know?
probably, but
Would you
Do
come to
people
my
do that?
son's bar mitzvah and talk to him about filmmaking? No, you don't have to make it just because kids write to you.
I'm going to course correct for a second because I feel like
All right.
it's the book is a young adult book. It's
Yeah.
not like
So was Harry Potter.
this crazy, but what does that have to do with anything? So I'm just saying, if you look at it from the perspective of like a movie you'd watch as a 13-year-old, not as a 45-year-old, like I feel like it's a little different. Grading this as an adult, I think you have to like come down a second because I mean they're kids, right? So it's a kid movie in a way, and there's one thing there's a couple things I liked about it, but I think it's kind of has like a sweet aspect to it, like the Johnny and the Ponyboy character. Like I think it does a good job of kind of at least showing like friendship and emotion and vulnerability in terms of stuff like that. And maybe that's more on the book than the movie, but I don't think it like shies away from. It's not like super macho shithead kind of in a way. I mean, they kind of do that with the other guys, but like Matt Dillon. But I think I appreciate them trying to highlight the friendship between those two and like the family dynamics and between the three brothers and stuff like that. Like, the hardships of not having parents and, having to survive and I don't know, whatever. I mean, I get the themes. I think the themes are fine. I could probably crap on the performances or like the lines and the dialogue is kind of wooden and weird. God, Matt Dillon makes me want to punch myself in the face the whole movie. Come on, Johnny. He's like, oh, fuck, man, like overacting all the fucking movie. It's just like,
he's gonna explode, man.
Yeah,
I know.
Dally, man, he's gonna explode.
Looking
You're like,
at the magazine.
God. But I'm just saying, there's some
All
subtle
over
things
the
that I think are
place.
okay.
He basically like you could go to jail for it these days, sexually harasses Cherry Valance when he first meets her. And then she's like, what's with your friend? He's a jerk. And they're like, no, he's actually really nice. Like, he's nice. When
You just got to get to know
you
him.
just gotta get to know him. You just gotta be in a gang with him where you get in these giant stupid brawls and like knife each other sometimes and stuff. And then if you're in that context, he's actually kind of great. Still sounds terrible to me. Still sounds bad. I don't know.
Like, he was in jail. He's a shithead. He's still,
Yeah, he's a shithead.
There were
Yeah.
totally different values in 1967 than there were today.
I mean, 14-year-olds are just
Wait,
smoking.
but not really. Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, I approached this as being like, let's see. 'Cause I knew nothing about it. I didn't read the book. I didn't see the movie before. I didn't read any background about it. I didn't really want to know that much about it because it's an iconic movie and I wanted to, watch it. I know loads of people talk about this movie. Loads of people say how amazing it is. The cast is all full of crazy amount of famous people. So yeah, I really didn't want to go in knowing anything about it, and I just wanted to watch it, and so I did, and I was like, as you're, at least for me, as the movie's going along, you start to try to draw up what they're getting at. You're like, oh, let's see what they're getting at here. Okay, oh, they have a train motif. Okay, they're the wrong side of the tracks. I get it. They got the train thing going on. You always hear the train whistle in the background. You see pictures of trains. But then it doesn't really develop more than that. It's like, yeah, some kids are on the wrong side of the tracks. I did think it was hilarious when he's remembering his parents taking him on picnics and the car is in this golden light.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the train hitting the car. It's the same car. It's like,
Smack you over the head with it. Jesus
they
Christ.
turn it sideways and stuff. It's like their lives got turned sideways. So, but as it's going along, I'm like, oh, they're going to do like a Romeo and Juliet thing where it's like the Montagues and the Capulets and Ponyboy and Cherry Valance are like the center of it. And they find love with each other and they're not supposed to because they're from different sides. And then you're like, oh, nope. This movie just kind of keeps jumping from one like lily pad to another. yeah, I couldn't really figure out what the hell it was supposed to be about or anything.
Well, I mean, I feel like I feel like there's a handful of recurring themes, right? So it's like the perpetual violence, but it really means nothing kind of thing. Just because you're from two different socioeconomic places doesn't mean you can't find middle ground. That's a whole other theme that's going on, right? And violence begets more violence that's unnecessary. Like even Dally getting shot by the cops and the gun wasn't loaded, but then that's just spurs this whole other thing. Or I think that's kind of the theme, the big theme. I would guess that if you're poor, what do? You join up with these gangs or whatever. People think you're a piece of shit anyways, so why not act the piece of shit kind of thing? But but then you realize that the rich kids are also assholes too, so it doesn't really matter what side of the tracks you come from. It just kind of doesn't make any sense. I mean, that I think there is like a point of you find commonplace in the people, and that's your family, right? Like this gang is, Johnny's parents hit him, and Ponyboy's parents are dead, and all he has is his brothers, but everyone treats Johnny like their little brother. So it's kind of like this familial unit out of like rejects, right? So I don't know, I feel like there's some points or themes that they're trying to make in it that are good or fine. I mean, because why is this book so popular?
You got me.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like
I don't know.
Why is 50 Shades of Grey really popular? I don't know. It's a lot of people like that.
I assume it's entertaining. I don't.
The themes, the themes are they're archetypal. You can't go wrong with them because they are throughout human history and all literature. Like these are all themes you see time and time again. It's in the execution. So I can't talk about the book. Like maybe the book is actually really good.
Never read it. Yeah,
I know lots of people who have read it and said it's really good, and so I take their word for it. But I don't know lots of people who have seen this movie and have said this is a kick-ass movie. Like
I know a lot of people who like them. I've met a bunch of people that have liked this movie and like, oh my god, you can't believe who's in it.
Have they seen it recently as an adult?
I don't know. Yeah, like I did struggle caring about a lot of the characters. Why do I need to follow this guy's story? I don't find him interesting.
I mean, why do you follow Harry Potter's story? Like that's not interesting.
Well, they draw characters that you're supposed to care about. Like they spend time drawing up the characters, and you're like, oh, and I don't care about a lot of the Harry Potter characters. I think Ron is an annoying motherfucker in the movies anyway.
Because every Harry Potter book is a mystery, and you want to solve a mystery, and it goes throughout the book. And at the end of the book, the mystery is solved. This doesn't have any kind of compelling, like, it's just character after character after character.
Right.
And like, oh, well, how's Ponyboy going to get out of this? Immediately, like, he saves a bunch of kids.
And
now he's a hero.
The Socias, it's like, why are they fighting in a fucking gang? Like, they have all the money. Why would they risk their lives and their freedom getting arrested or killed, monkeying around with a bunch of people they have no regard for? They have all the power. They don't need to even like deign to talk to these kids, but they're like, what would be great if we dressed as the preppiest motherfuckers on planet Earth for a brawl, for a mud-soaked knife and knuckles fucking brawl where you're like, why are you wearing sweaters and slacks? This is just a costume. It's just so weird. So the Socias part of it, I was like, I don't know what the fuck these guys are in this.
There's no motivation for them at all. It's completely unbelievable.
If it was like one bunch of poor kids that had a quality that joined them together, and another bunch of poor kids that had a quality that joined them together, and they fought each other, then you'd be like, yes, this is how the world works. Yeah,
if the Socias were paying one of the poor kids to fight the other.
Well, they don't even have to pay them. Like, they just set up a system where they pit themselves against each other, and they're like, oh, we moved the Hispanic kids into this even crappier part of town. So, like, the white poor kids are like, oh, we look down on you. You live even crappier than we do, or whatever. And then that causes tension. Like, that is how the world works. We do use sectarian violence to keep poor people poor and stuff like that. But like the Socias, I was like, what the fuck are these kids doing?
I mean,
like,
You're saying that you don't think that bullying existed in the early 60s between
Organized
kids?
bullying?
This isn't bullying. This is a gang. It's like
Same
every
thing,
rich
same
kid in
concept. Like
No, it
two
isn't.
groups of people that
Not
don't
to
like
this
each other.
level.
That's
Not
what
to
fucking
this
happens.
It's not at all like I was bullied when I was a kid, but it was like
I'm saying
a kid would come over and be like, "You're a fucking skid."
No, what I mean is just like two groups of people that have animosity toward each other. I mean, that happens nonstop. I mean, yes, it can be one-on-one, which would be more bullying, but I mean, gangs exist. I mean, the book is based off of the writer's experience of these two gangs actually existing. So it's not like she made up.
I am willing to bet the Socs were not like knife wielding rich kids.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any
I
fucking sense.
don't understand. Like, it's not that far fetched for me to believe that there are assholes that also are coming from rich families. That
Oh no,
not at all.
Totally
But,
exist.
why would
they are not that
deign-
organized? Yeah, like why would they waste their
deign
time
to
with
even
this
talk
bullshit?
to these kids? Yeah, they're
because
just
they're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what the fuck else are they doing?
I don't know, like anything else, like hanging out at parties and shit. I don't know, driving their fancy cars around and not like trying to get knifed. Like I don't know, most kids who are rich just stay with other rich kids and do rich kid stuff. Like
We had
that's what
preppies in all of the schools I
happened
went
in
to
our
as well,
town.
and
You
they
could-
weren't banding together like as a
No,
unit
you
harassing
could-
other groups.
You could tell who the richest kids in my town were because it was back in the 80s and almost leading up to 90. All the rich kids were way into like the Grateful Dead, and they all had like millions of rips on their jeans and like tie-dyed shirts with like the dead bears, the Grateful Dead bears on them and stuff, the dancing bears. The shabbier someone looked, the more they looked like a Trustafarian, the more money they had. There was a poorer community in the lower part of our town. It was a religious community where you could build your own house if you wanted to. It was this forest. Some of those kids got made fun of by some of the rich kids, but they'd be like, "You're fucking poor."
Yeah, you don't get invited to the parties.
Yeah,
that's the level of aggression that exists between the rich cliques and the poor clique. It's not like we're going to like run you down with our car and stab you in the neck with a knife over and over again. No, that's like psychotic behavior that is like one-on-one. It's not like a whole group of rich preppies suddenly acting like that.
That's like what you do when you have a reason.
Yeah,
like when you feel like
personal,
your power is being threatened or something. Like you'd be like, "We gotta show these kids what's what." Like
if the greasers were trying to join the yacht club,
right? Or if
then I could see
they parked a double wide in front of the golf club or something. They roust these greasers. They don't want to get rid of them or kill them or put them in jail. They just want to like have giant brawls where they just beat the fuck out of each other. You're like,
and I think that's the point. It's like I have a very hard time taking this seriously because I don't think the author really took the time to flesh any of this out, like the motivations for why these two groups are fighting. The Montagues and the
Capulets.
Capulets.
Yeah,
like they had motivation to fight each other. Like these two are I feel like that she read Romeo and Juliet. She knew about these gangs. There are some groups at schools that don't like each other. I'm gonna have them do the same thing. But it's like,
but the point of Romeo and Juliet too is that like these families hate each other. They have this ancient grudge.
They got beef. Yeah.
That is never going to go away. And these two kids have to be sacrificed to end the grudge. And Shakespeare was a company man. He wanted to flatter the king, and he wasn't a radical. So like in all of Shakespeare's work, or most of it, order is restored. Like that's the point of the stories, is like these two kids have to be sacrificed, and some of their other family members along the way. It is pretty bloody, but the core is like these two kids have to be sacrificed to bring the peace, and the peace won't be brought until the two most innocent kids get offed in some horrible way. And then you're like, what are we doing? We can't keep this going. This has to end. And that's what I thought they were going for in this one. We're like,
I don't think there's a romance happening there.
No, there isn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't ever do that.
End. Huh? It's very clear at the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I think it's more about finding common ground of having two people that are not terrible and despicable and being like, okay, we can be friends here, but I don't think there's a romance thing happening.
They can't be friends. No, and she's despicable. Very
like-
much so, from turning her back on him at that like completely destroyed her character. Completely. Like, why would I have any sort of like admiration or sympathy for her as a character when she just doesn't even look him in the eye at the end? Like
but that doesn't like that doesn't divert from her character. The whole movie, she meets with him in secret all the time. Like she's never like meeting with him in front of all the other popular kids.
and he took the journey, he took the hero's journey, and he gets to the end, and she's like, peace.
Good job.
Whatever. You're still just a greaser. Like, that's horseshit. Come on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I just kept trying to find a foothold or a toehold or something which would launch me into, liking this movie or caring about the people in it. And I just never really found it. I'd find little grasps here and there where you're like, oh, that was kind of a good scene. Like Ralph Macchio and C. Thomas Howell, when they're like lying under the stars, before Ralph Macchio's character murders the Soch, and then they would veer off into something else. It just never really grabbed me, it never really became something that I was invested in.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? Should we grade this sucker?
We didn't talk about the Rumble.
The Rumble!
I'm kidding. I just feel you guys are like shitting all over. I was like, oh, let's just cut this one short.
I know.
I'm not saying it's not like my favorite movie or anything.
Yeah.
You're not like offending me. I sometimes think that.
Oh, good. Because it wasn't the goal. I wasn't trying to offend you.
But I mean, I feel like I'm the only one like slightly defending it, but I'm only defending it, I think, from the perspective of not looking at it so literally. I guess I sort of see, you could make up those two things, right? The socials could be like, as a writer, maybe it's like those are two very distinct groups, and that gets your point across easier of like the haves and the have-nots.
Mhm.
So that makes sense. Like, okay, like, I mean, I'll still say I'm still very impressed that a 16-year-old can write this book, but I think the book is better than the movie adaptation.
Yeah.
But
my son liked the book. He was like, it's good. Yeah.
But I think he's probably also the target audience and the age. I think that's the thing is it's kind of a book that is accessible. And it kind of does have some big themes in it which is probably why it's so happened to be used in middle school very often, because it's very easy to say like, these are the things,
Yeah.
But as far as the story goes, I enjoy the story overall. I think, the train motif, and they go off to the church, and then the turnaround where, unfortunately Johnny gets killed, even though he's like this nice kid. I thought this too, as I was watching it this time. I was like, okay, pivot this movie, and they go turn themselves in.
Yeah.
Like, does Johnny get pinned? Is that self-defense, or is he because he's a greaser? He's going to get.
Would they believe the greaser?
Would they believe him?
It's kind of like Thelma and Louise. It's like, we killed someone, but like they wouldn't believe us, like everything's against us.
Because then later Cherry like testifies that Bob was drunk.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
They're in greaser territory.
I can see why they'd run. That made sense to me why they ran. Because I'm like, who'd believe a greaser? That the richest kids in town, one of them got knifed. Someone's going to get sent to jail. Someone's going to, retribution must be had. The wealthy will not stand for this. So I get why they run. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It just kind of meanders as a story. Like, and everyone's so unlikable in it. It just really sets the tone badly for me, where I was just like, everyone sucks.
Was Tom Cruise hired for this role for his ability to do a backflip?
I don't know. Swayze did one too. Yeah. I know.
Both times.
Tom Cruise is like nothing in this movie. Like, and if you said to people when this movie came out, okay, you tell me which of these people is going to be the biggest name in Hollywood for like, I don't know, 40 years. Yeah. No one would have pointed at Tom Cruise because, it's a stupid character.
Teeth did, Tom Cruise.
Yeah. No one, obviously, right?
I probably would have picked Rob Lowe.
I would have picked Rob Lowe, and I might have picked Swayze, and I wouldn't have been terribly wrong about Swayze because he did actually get to be pretty famous. Yeah. Rob Lowe does a good job.
Well, he plays like
doesn't have a lot to do though.
Yeah, but he gets to play the dramatic side a little bit, and he plays both. But in terms of just like, he at least has something to do in the movie besides Ponyboy and Johnny. Like, he's only. I mean, I guess Matt Dillon, but he's just fucking. I can't stand that.
Yeah, well, I think Soda Pop is the only one with a job.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Derry has a job too.
They were in a garage, I think.
Yeah, they said they had two jobs. He had two jobs, and then Soda Pop he was a mechanic.
I gotta say, Ponyboy is kind of a good name. Like, it's interesting for some reason. I kind of like the name Ponyboy. And then they were like, this is my brother's soda pop. And you're like, no, nope. You had me with Ponyboy. You lost me with soda pop.
They explain it. It's like, oh, Dad was a character.
Dad was a character. Yeah,
And Mom was non-existent. She apparently just did not have any opinion whatsoever on these two stupid names.
Dad was a drinker. And Mom made picnics, and then they both got hit by a train.
She was outvoted on the naming.
Yeah, she was like, how about Jim? No. Jim is terrible. We're going with Sody Pop.
You know what I like? I like to drink Sody Pop.
He just like named the kid by whatever he's looking at. He's looking out of the pony in the field. Ponyboy.
2-bit.
Soda Pop. This movie for me, it just keeps coming and going. You know, it's like driving through a radio station that keeps coming in and out of focus, where you're like, you know, oh, I think I'm picking it up. No, I'm losing it. Like they go to the church, you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be like a road thing where they have this, you know, like journey where they hide out. Maybe they have to go to another spot because they get found out or something. And they're like, and Matt Dillon comes to get him at the church. You know, he's like, hey, you guys got to not even poke your noses out, okay? I'm going to come get you. And then he comes and gets him, and he's like, let's go to the total heart of downtown to a drive-through restaurant and get some chow.
He's seen by 50 people.
And then like they go back to like, I don't know, get their stuff or something. What do they have at the church? And the church that's boarded up and it's like boards nailed over the windows, the doors, and everything is just full of kids. And like they had a service there that day. I'm like, what? Why? Why the fuck are they having a church service?
As a school bus. No, I think the school bus just took a detour.
Dilapidated
for some reason.
Fucking church. But there's like 12 kids in there that like had to climb over busted up boards to get in.
Rats.
And the parent, the adults were just like, oh, there's kids in there.
Doing nothing.
I guess we're just going to sit here and watch them roast like rotisserie chickens.
Afterwards, they're at the hospital and he's smoking, like the adult is smoking, and like Ponyboy's smoking.
Yeah.
Like, the adult's like, you really shouldn't smoke. I think it was like, you shouldn't be watching children.
I know, you shouldn't ever have children.
Why are you an administrator? Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, so how did the kids get into the trouble there, sir? It's like, well, we was driving and we saw this old church that's clearly a hazard. And we drove all the kids there, and we bet them $1. They couldn't fit every kid from the bus into this dilapidated church. And then someone else made a bet that I couldn't set it on fire. And somewhere in the middle there, we almost lost about 12 kids.
If it weren't for them greasers over there.
How did it catch on fire? What the fuck?
Oh,
How
because
did the kids get in there? How did it catch on fire?
Caught on fire because of the cigarette. Johnny's
cigarette?
Because he says at one point, he's like, Johnny, he's like, watch your smoke. Because he's like falls asleep with it. So foreshadowing that a cigarette butt.
Yeah.
But like they went out to town.
Yeah, they left for the day.
It would have been like the kids would have had to come into a burning church in the first place. If that's how it caught on fire. Like,
no, see,
hey, kids.
It's 1961. Those kids were smoking inside.
The kids were smoking.
The kids were smoking.
Hey, kids, we want to teach you about Pentecost. You're going to walk into this burning building. Like, what the fuck?
If someone comes and saves you, you're a good person. If not,
I know.
You deserved it.
And they were like, well, I guess let's run in and save the kids. And Matt Dillon's like, don't run in and save the kids.
Fuck them.
Oh, fuck. I guess I'll go in too. They go in and they get, banged up, and Johnny gets the church collapses on Johnny, but he somehow just gets some surface burns.
Mm-hmm. Third-degree surface burn.
They just go straight back to town, and they go. God knows how far they've gone.
They took a train, right?
On this freight train. Like, it's way the fuck in the middle of nowhere. But the ambulance is like, take them back to Shittsville. And they go, Tulsa, wherever the fuck it is. They go all the way back to Tulsa in an ambulance that probably cost, I don't know, $85,000 to drive all the way back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the reaction to them coming home is like, well, they saved some kids in Shittsville, so it seems to be okay that one of them murdered one of the richest kids in town. It's just, what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some.
I have to take issue with, I'm sorry, the title.
Yeah.
What are they outside to? Because they never show the inside. There's no insiders.
There's
no, they're outsiders too, because they're a fucking raving gang also. Where are the normal human beings who aren't associated with any kind of like street violence?
It's the guy who runs the store that Matt Dillon comes into and rips a magazine in half and then sticks a gun in his face and robs him. That's the only person in the entire town who's like a normal person. Because he's like, oh my God, don't shoot me in the face. And he's like, you fucking punks. I'm so tired of you goddamn punks. And then the guy runs away and he shoots at him. Matt Dillon runs away and he shoots at him. Did we lose Joshua?
I think
I'm here.
He had a nosebleed going.
Yeah,
you
it just
turned off
fucking
okay,
started. I had
gotcha.
an aneurysm from yelling about this movie.
It made you ill.
I thought it was all the coke you did before we started.
But yeah, it's just like that's like the only normal guy in town. The guy who's just like trying to run a fucking store and he can't even run a store. He's like, everyone in this town is insane. Why do I live here? Even the rich kids are fucking nuts.
Yeah. So, to that
Giant
point,
mud brawls with the poor kids.
it's just two raving gangs. I didn't find any normal insiders to compare the outsiders to.
Well, yeah, obviously, I think the insiders are supposed to be the socias, who are way more nuts than the greasers.
I know.
Drunken
The
murderers.
socials just like psychotically chase down people with
I
cars.
know. It's like
the greasers aren't
Clockwork
going out of their
Orange.
way to fight anybody. Like they're always on the defense.
It's
Exactly,
like
Clockwork Orange.
150 droogs. You're like, damn, I thought Clockwork Orange town was bad. This
Socials are hanging out at the milk bar.
kind of worse. A little of the old ultra violence.
Yeah.
In and out love.
Yeah, right. The old in out.
Where do we go from here?
The socials, man.
I'll admit I didn't think you guys were going to hate it this much.
I
But
didn't think it was going to hate this much either. Honestly, it gives me pause because it is so popular.
Yeah,
it is like a beloved classic, and I was surprised at my own like very visceral reaction to this. Like the scene where Patrick Swayze and Rob Lowe and Ponyboy, and those are real names in the movie, are all sitting around the table, and I forget when exactly it is because I feel it's like after all the violence, after the church, but they're having dinner. Oh yeah, because Ponyboy's going to school, but his grades aren't that great, and so Patrick Swayze's giving him shit about like you could go to college, and like he gets upset, and then like Rob Lowe's like the middle child.
Yeah.
he runs out.
And he like asks his opinion, and his reaction to that was like, leave me out. He gets up and just sprints out. I was dying laughing. Like I was just like, that was the most over the top scene in the entire movie. I couldn't bear it.
Yeah.
Like it was
Him
like,
playing
too
the
much.
middleman. I can't take it anymore.
I know.
Because he went from 0 to 100. Just like
That's what I mean. None of these kids can act yet, you know, like they became famous, but you kind of like wonder why they cast these guys at this age. I guess it was just because like they just wanted to do like a Backstreet Boys of acting where you're like, let's just assemble a bunch of handsome young men and hopefully at least young ladies will want to watch this movie. It's kind of a miracle that they all got cast because almost none of them are very good. And the socias suck. All the actors that play socias, they're just awful. Like Cherry Valance's friend at the movie theater is like, oh yeah, let's hang out with these greasers. And they just keep treating her like shit, and she keeps being like, I'll have a sip of your soda. And, you know, it's like, what the fuck
You're
is
cute.
with you? Yeah, I know. Like, she gives her number to the drunkest, assholiest of them all, 2-bit.
He says it's probably fake, which
Like, who knows? Yeah.
okay, there must be some connection between you read the book in middle school, and there was something about reading the book and then watching the movie adaptation after the fact, because the movie's not like great in any way, shape, or form, especially watching as an adult. I mean, obviously Joshua hates it, but I feel like I give it some, like, again, we're talking about the nostalgia dust a little bit of just like seeing this when you're 13 after reading the book, and it seems like bringing it to life is kind of cool. And I feel like also it works really well. I almost feel as if I'm watching a play that's being filmed. The way everything is over dramatic, like it feels like it should be like, and scene, you know, it's kind of like feels like it's like there's 3 distinct acts, but it feels like it's acted as if it's a play. And then, but it's not.
It's pretty theatrical, yeah.
It's theatrical in the way it's kind of just, it meanders a bit, and you could see it just kind of cutting from, it's like, and now we're at their house, and cut
Yeah.
to playground where we're gonna like, it's always like
Yeah.
this like cut to, and the lights come up and Ponyboy and Johnny are talking,
It feels like it was made by the same studio that made the peanut butter solution, like where it just has this like just this sort of flat hackneyed quality to it where you're just like, you would think it's made by someone who kind of knows what they're doing, but not a whole bunch, which is shocking because it's Coppola. And, whatever you say about the career of Coppola, he has made some fantastic movies. Like some people would consider perfect movies, like the first two Godfather movies. Even Apocalypse Now, with all of its problems, is still extremely watchable. But with this movie, just like, and this is what shocked me the most, is that I didn't hate it, but I just found it really dull. And I know it's supposed to be like edge of your seat exciting, like these gangs and what's going to happen. But like, they just kind of meander the fuck all over the place. And when the big brawl happens, it's just boring to me. It's just like a bunch of rain and a bunch of assholes that I don't care about punching the crap out of each other. And like Swayze knocked the football guy over. Oh, the football guy's up and he punches Swayze right back. And you're like,
I'll take you.
They're a good match as fighting guys. And then like,
Which is how it works in real life.
Yeah. And then like, I was like, oh wait, this is where Ponyboy is going to die. They're going to, because they're like, there's no knives in the fight. And like, some thug on the Socs is going to bring a knife and get him back for the Soc that got knifed by Johnny, But like, no, they're like, Swayze's just like, Ponyboy, you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, oh, got some scratches and scrapes on me. I'm basically okay. And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess he lived. And then you're like, oh yeah, he has to write the book. He's the guy at the beginning writing the book. And at the end, he's writing the book. So of course he didn't die, but they kill Ralph Macchio for not a whole bunch of reasons.
He's got to deliver that line.
Yeah, he had to be the one to say stay gold.
But he's like, they pull him out of the fire and he's got a broken back. And he's like, oh, they said, the doc says I busted my back and I won't walk again. And you're like, well, there it is. The poor kid. He's got his back broken. That's going to change his character. And then just for no reason, he dies. And you're like, what? Why'd he die? Like, he's been in the hospital for like a week and he just has like light burns on his neck. And then he dies.
Could have been smoke inhalation.
He dies. Matt Dillon and Ponyboy are just like, oh no. Oh, Johnny. And Matt Dillon's like, God damn it, Johnny, don't you die on me. Ay-yo. And then they just don't tell anyone in the hospital their friend died.
He really took it hard.
You're in a fucking hospital. Just be like, hey, down here. My friend is fucking dying. We need the people with the crash pads and stuff to revive my dying friend. And they're just like, man, he just died. Let's get a smoke. It's just
all right.
So weird.
Clearly it was not a fan favorite, so let's just move to the grading.
Yeah.
Is this on a scale of something to something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Brian, what's
I
the
think I
scale?
forgot the fucking scale.
We do a name scale from Soda Pop to Ponyboy. Soda Pop being the shittiest.
From Ponyboy to Bob the Soc.
Bob the Soc.
Bob, the leader of the Socs.
This is either a D+ or a C- for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing on the planet. It's just, it's very ham-handed. I did, consider, is this supposed to be a play? And like, because a lot of the write-ups on it online are like, well, you gotta like understand, like West Side Story is also like sort of the same. Like West Side Story is supposed to be a play.
Yeah, and it's also Romeo and Juliet.
And you can like
gangs.
you can sort of forgive it for the melodrama because of the source material.
Yeah.
But this I don't think you can forgive it for or give it the same like allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, really famous people. I don't want to say good cast. Yeah, there are recognizable actors in the movie, and it's a acclaimed director. And I think if you if you didn't tell me this was Francis Ford Coppola,
Oh yeah.
and I watched it, and I would be shocked, shocked at the end of it. If you told me, I was like, was this a college film for him?
I would have thought the first thing he ever made. Yeah.
It's crazily out of character for him. And it's odd that because Greg, you said you accidentally watched like the non-director's cut.
Yes.
With a lot of stuff cut out, and I read all the stuff that was in the director's cut, and that's a way worse movie. Without all that stuff, like all the scenes that were added into the director's cut.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you care at all about any of the characters? I liked the I don't know about cinematography, but camera work.
Yeah.
I felt there were some scenes that were expertly done, where you're like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool shot. Not a lot of them, but there's some in there where you're like, oh, this is Coppola. But there are others where you're right. It's just like, it's very flat and after school, especially. And you're just like, what is going on here? Yeah, that's about it. I guess there's not a whole lot I liked about it. The entire time I was like, you know what? I'd rather be watching Stand By Me.
Yeah.
There's a period piece. It's the 50s.
I'd watch that again.
I would watch the shit out of Stand By Me. That's a much better film.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you give it a grade or?
I'm going to give it a D+.
Okay.
I talked myself down from a C-.
That's my pick, so I'll go last, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it never really took hold, you know? I feel like it just never got going. It never had a point to me. It never got me interested in any of the people in a real way. The town is ludicrous to me. You know, it's just a silly fucking town where you're just like, this is the dumbest place on earth. The Socias were ridiculous. Like, I didn't give a flying fuck about any of them except Cherry, I guess. And there's just a bunch of haphazard crap to create drama too. Like the giant brawl, it just feels like it was just shoved in there because like they needed a giant brawl to make this movie have some big action thing in it. And I feel like what's emblematic of that impulse in this movie is the way Matt Dillon's character dies, where the store owner calls the police and he's just like running down the middle of the fucking road as a police car comes, and like another cop car comes and he just starts pointing the gun at all the cops and being like, you're not getting me alive. And they have all the kids witness him getting shot, and the kids are like, the gun's not loaded. Oh my God, the gun, it isn't loaded. Why? Like, it's this huge travesty of justice that they're murdering this kid, you know, just because he's a greaser. It's so unfair. And it's like, they don't know the gun's not loaded. Yeah, like the kid robbed a store with a gun, and then he's pointing a gun at them all and saying, you're not going to take me back alive, you know?
I mean, they shoot him like 6 times.
I know. But you're like, they would shoot him.
But he's also, I think they make a point there too. I mean, they yell out, he's just a kid. I mean, he acts tough, and all these guys are acting tough, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's like 17. Like,
but this is the same town where like a few days earlier, a 16-year-old kid murdered someone with a knife in the middle of the fucking town square in a fountain. Like, you think the cops might be a little bit on edge about kids who are, quote, just kids, you know, especially when one's pointing a gun in their face. You know, like, I feel like the police go way overboard all the time and murder people that shouldn't be murdered. But like in this case, I kind of side with the police on this one. Like, he's pointing a gun at their face.
You just don't like Matt Dillon.
I do like him in some stuff, actually. I think he's pretty good in some stuff. So yeah, you know, I didn't hate the movie, but if anyone else made the movie, you'd be like, they're learning. It's shocking to me that Coppola made this movie. So I'm gonna give it a C- because like elements of it were good. I liked a couple of scenes. I liked some of the performers. I think Swayze did pretty good. I think Macchio did pretty good. C. Thomas Howell did pretty good. And Diane Lane did pretty good.
I give it a B-. So what do we do next week?
Brian, was that seriously your review?
Yeah, you want to do your review, man? Are you sure?
I don't know.
He's mad. He's
what?
mad.
I'm not mad at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I think I see it a little differently, I guess. I think it's entertaining. I don't probably put it in the same bucket as Stand By Me. I think those are better child actors, and the story's kind of more interesting to me. But I do think there's a connection between having read the book as a teenager or whatever, a young adult, and then having seen the movie. It kind of puts it in a little time capsule. So there's probably some nostalgia in there. But I think all in all, like, there are some overarching thematic themes that I think do a decent job of kind of exposing. Yeah, some of it's heavily overacted and dopey. I think looking back on this is like, I feel like reviewing this as an adult, it makes it very literal, but it's a book that was written for teenagers and the whole movie's about teenagers. So to review this as an adult is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I could see why someone would dislike it, but I think it has a decent, I didn't hate any real particular scene, in general. I think a lot of it, it's funny watching this movie is a lot of anticipatory, like, oh, I know what scene's coming up, but I don't really remember it. And I was kind of nice to see it again in a weird way. It was kind of like an old friend. I was like, oh, I remember this scene, like, oh, that, Johnny, whatever. And this gives him the book and the Gone with the Wind thing. Like, it's like, okay, like it has some stuff about it. And I think they do a decent job of like showing the relationships between the brothers and, Johnny and Ponyboy and things like that. And, maybe my grade lies more with the book than it does the movie, but I don't know. I'd give it a B- because I had seen it a bunch of times. I still think it's not the best movie in the world, but it's kind of after school specially, but it's hard for me to think of it as a classic. I know people say that, but I mean,
I think a lot of it has to do with
the cast,
the cast being so famous.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. I would say it is regarded as a minor classic. I don't think people hold it up against like The Godfather or stuff like that. No,
not. Yeah. So B- is my grade, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah. All right, Ponyboy.
The Outsiders, everyone.
Stay golden.
The Outsiders.
Stay golden.
All right. Next time on Rabbit Fighters. One or two ways, but I'm going to go with the Adventures of Baron Munchausen. 1988 Terry Gilliam film.
That looked terrible.
Terry Gilliam flop.
Great, even better.
Famous flop.
I saw it in the movie theater, actually. I loved it back in the day.
I grew up on it.
I have not seen it since.
I grew up on it. It was that or Time Bandits. But
I would have preferred Time Bandits.
Actually,
I don't remember liking Time Bandits.
Yeah, there's an Apple TV new series coming out, like a relaunching of Time Bandits.
My wife wanted to see it recently. She was like, movie night. She was like, "What about Time Bandits?" I was like, "I don't like it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it again."
Your needle's stuck on Terry Gilliam.
I love Terry Gilliam. I didn't know how you guys would react to Brazil, but you guys loved Brazil. I don't think you're gonna like this as much as Brazil. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. But it's a loony movie.
Floating
great visuals. It's Terry Gilliam. But
Robin Williams is in it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's of all the Terry Gilliam films, it's probably the one that people forget about the most.
Should have went David Lynch in memoriam.
Yeah, right.
No,
yeah.
I'm not doing that to you or me or the audience.
I get stabbed and cut up and shit, man.
David Lynch, fuck you.
Knifey stuff. Yeah,
knifey stuff.
You wouldn't survive in a gang fight with their socias.
I know.
Or
Knives,
fighting Sardaukar.
Socias. That's a stupid name for a gang too. The SOCs. I was like, the socks.
I want to see the Fremen fight the Socias. That's a fight, right? That's a knife fight.
Who would have the most blue eyes, though, right? The Socias were all pretty blue eyes.
Well, stay golden.
Life is but a twink. Oh, I fucked up. Doesn't matter. Cut it.
Blooper reel.
Shit.